The hike to Valley of the Moon is an incredibly beautiful and underrated one. It's right on the border of the USA and Mexico. Now, the one wrinkle in this hike is that there is no border wall in between here, and the border fence is not really protected. People can easily cross back and forth, and they do. And I've seen all kinds of crazy things in my years of hiking here, but generally it's a safe place. But there are some places that might be dangerous. I'm going to check with Border Patrol to see if we can actually hit those on this hike. But regardless, I'm going to take you to a smuggler's cave. We'll see some abandoned mines, and we'll enjoy this wonderland of rocks. It really is just a spectacular place, and it's also a designated wilderness area. And as I mentioned earlier, this hike is on the border of US and Mexico, about halfway between San Diego and Yuma, Arizona. The hike is about 9 miles altogether. It's a bit of an out and back with some little side trips, as you can see here. There's a fair bit of up and down on this hike, about 1,700 feet of total ascent altogether. I would call this a medium hike, not the hardest hike in the world either, but it's definitely not an easy walk in a park, especially given the harsh terrain here and potential harsh conditions. This is a picture from my drive to the trailhead. The hike starts at 3,000 feet, so this is mountainous terrain. It's not a flat, low desert like you might expect. There's a huge parking area which is free, and there's a trail board here. It's a little bit confusing. This is not the beginning of the trail. Instead, we're going to go back from here and start heading down this dirt road. One of the things I love about parking here is you get these 24-hour security provided by Border Patrol watching your car. Now, as you walk down the road, you might see some Border Patrol vehicles here. Feel free to go say hello, tell them what you're going to do, and get on their radar. And even if you don't see them, they might be watching you. They're usually somewhere around here hiding out. You might also spot clues like this along the section of road, water bottles, discarded items. People have gotten across the border at this point, and they're probably hitching a ride on Interstate 8. This first climb will definitely wake your legs up, but just one thing to remember, there are some beautiful views. So if you turn around and take a look on the horizon, you can see as far as Toro Peak, Rabbit and Villager Peaks, and Anza, and also in a clear day all the way back to Ryan Mountain and Joshua Tree. So I was speaking to some of the guys at Customs and Border Patrol, CBP, and one of the little side excursions I wanted to take you on this hike to a really cool area with a border marker and a smuggler's peak is dangerous. They told me not to go there. They said just avoid it. I'll explain why in a second as we go closer to it, because maybe we'll get a view of it. But I'm still going to take you to a smuggler's cave, which will be our next stop, and then we'll go to Valley of the Moon. And then at some point, I might see if I can pull a drone out and get it to that area that was dangerous so that you could see what I wanted to show you. But let's see what happens. Now, towards the top of the climb, almost there, you'll see this rock up on the left right there. That's your sign to turn off of this main trail onto a smaller trail that we're going to take down to a smuggler's den. And the trail is marked by this wilderness sign, the Jacumba wilderness sign. You can't always count on having these signs around, but if you look for that rock shouldn't be moving anywhere anytime soon. And now we're going to hop off onto these smaller use trails. In the beginning, it's a little bit hard to follow. And then once you get to the bottom, you can see there's tons of footprints here. This is a popular destination. Easy trail to follow here. I highly recommend downloading the GPX file for the trail, which you can find on my website, and bringing it with you with offline maps, because there are so many trails here, hundreds of trails, use trails, 4x4 trails. It's easy to get lost. It's easy to get confused. But if you have your electronic navigation with you, you can do it pretty easily. Now, I saw this and I got excited, not because I'm a weirdo, but because it means there are wild horses or burros around. I also saw a cow patty. I've heard of the wild horses and have seen videos, but I've never seen them here. But all of these animals have escaped. The horses allegedly descend from the original Spanish who came here hundreds of years ago. I told you I'm not going to show you every junction, but I just want to show you what it looks like when you see one of these unofficial trails. I mean, we're on an unofficial trail right now. But it can get really confusing. And if you look at the satellite photo, you can see there's a bunch of them here. So again, load this onto your phone with offline maps and you should be fine. Before you know it, we're going to arrive at Smuggler's Den or Smuggler's Cave. Pretty neat with all the rocks stacked up. First documented history here was from 1875 when somebody robbed the general store in Campo, which is where the PCT terminus is, and came over here to hide out. They were found and they dealt with things in those days. They was dealt with. And there were accounts of this being used turn of the century, smuggling in Chinese laborers to work on the railroads and things like that. And today, There's still some things here. I don't know whether these are from just people camping or from migrants, people smugglers, but there's activity in here, and it's definitely an interesting place to visit. And it's probably worth mentioning that this area, this quiet area of the world, Jacumba, was a pretty busy area for migrants up until recently. It was on the news all the time. They were coming through this area. There's no fence in this area, like I mentioned earlier, but nearby there is border fence where people can't come through. So a bunch of people were coming through in Jacumba, and now it's slowed down quite a bit. I didn't see anybody on this hike today, but you could see inside the cave here. Such a cool spot. Now, when we're done, we're going to take another side trail off. We're going to loop back to the road. We're not going to go directly back to the road, but instead we're going to take another one of these unofficial trails. And one of the things I like about this stretch is that it is a single track, and you're, off those main dirt roads where the off-roaders are. And you'll start to see in the distance those big windmills. That's actually in Mexico. So those windmills are across the border in Mexico. Now, eventually, this use trail will intersect with the bigger dirt road here, this OHV road. We're going to make the left-hand turn and continue on down this dirt road. Now, in the GPX file, I have another little diversion to a viewpoint. Our main trail, we're going to continue a second, is down to the left over there. But we're going to do a right at the split and just walk for a minute or two, and you're going to come to this postcard perfect viewpoint where you can see the mountains in the back, the mountains I'd mentioned earlier, all the way to Toro Peak, maybe even Joshua Tree on a clear day. And once you're done here, we're just going to turn around and go back down that junction where I was showing you earlier. And one of the interesting things at this split where we make a right is actually have a trail sign here, Valley of the Moon Trail. There's not like trail signs specifically. You're in essentially Valley of the Moon in a little bit, but it's interesting that it's sort of here in the middle of nowhere. All right, here's the next detour I have. We're going to go up to Elliot Mine. It's the top of that hill up there. It's going to be a little steep. We're going to have to work for it as we go up here. And it can get a little confusing. Again, having your GPX will help you here. But it's going to be worth it. We're going to see the mine and get some nice views. And as you climb here, you can see why this is called Valley of the Moon. All these granite boulders. It looks more like a moonscape than something that you'd see on Earth. Now, as you approach the top, you're going to see the first mine shaft on your right. This is Elliot Mine, evidently started by Jim Elliot. Not a lot of information aside from the fact that he was looking for gold. And if you look down at the ground here as you hike, you can see it kind of shining like gold. It's easy to be fooled perhaps by these rocks, these shiny rocks. But there was no gold. It was sold, and I think they mined quartz and quartzite out of here. And as you continue up, you'll see more of these. Now, for me, my favorite part of this is called Teje Peak, actually. There's a name for this. Are the incredible views down into Valley of the Moon. Really, really beautiful. Now, when you get towards the top, you're going to see two large mining pits. You got to be really careful here. The ground is really slippery around here. If you need to make a wide trip around it, you don't want to slip into there. That would not be a good time. But there's two of these big mining pits. And then if you continue on up, you'll be at the summit of Teje Peak, which has great views over to the wind farm on the Mexico side, and then down into the Valley of the Moon on the other side. And down in the Valley Moon there, that's where we're going to be going next. That's our next stop. Now, once we're done at the summit, you're going to head back down the way you came, all the way to that junction that I mentioned earlier, and obviously enjoy the views. That's my favorite part of going down here. The views are spectacular. At the bottom, we're going to make the hard right, and the trail gets kind of narrow here. It's not passable by a 4x4 in a lot of places, and you kind of have to squeeze through some of these areas, but there's definitely a trail, and eventually you will come out on the other side, and we're just going to bear right to head into the Valley of the Moon proper. Now, as you go through here on this road, it's all about enjoying the rocks. It's like a little piece of Joshua Tree here. All of these rock formations, this weathered granite, which dates back, I think, to 90 to 100 million years old, but just soak it all in. It's a beautiful and unique place. And one of the things that was fun when I was hiking around here, I got a text message on my phone that said, "Welcome to Mexico." Now, I'm not technically in Mexico here, but obviously my phone is connected with a cell tower in Mexico, and the cell coverage is pretty good. You're not going to get it everywhere, but I got it most places on this hike. And as you continue, you will spot a fence. That is the border. Obviously, not too hard to get across this type of border. The border is actually a little bit back from here. But this is what it is here, and that's why all the people cross here, because not too far from here
In Jacumba, you could see there's a massive border wall, so that's a tougher place to do it. And one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you here in this video now is because they just approved more border wall. Now, I don't know if it's going to be specifically here. It looks like a pretty challenging place to do construction, but they did suspend any kind of restrictions on doing construction in a wilderness area, which this is. This is the official Jacumba Wilderness, named so in 1994. And you might not know it, but we're also in the Roosevelt Reservation right now. It was created by Teddy Roosevelt in 1907. It stretches from the border in Texas all the way to California, and it's an area 60 feet away from the border. They created that to protect the border from smuggling, and recently they announced that they're going to make that a military base. It's going to be classified a military base, which allows the government to station troops here, and if somebody crosses the border, they are trespassing on a military base, and they can be detained by the military. Another reason why I wanted to share this with you in case it doesn't become accessible in the near future. Then once you pass that border area, it's really just a matter of walking around the Valley of the Moon and appreciating it all. You could see why the people call it the Little Joshua Tree here, and there are a lot of different named climbing areas in here as well, but it's really just a choose your own adventure at this point. You can walk around. I included the loop that I do in my GPX file, so you can do that. But really, it's just about going through, enjoying the scenery, and then when you're done, you're going to loop back and continue back on the stretch that we did before to go back to the start. Now, this is a harsh area of extremes in the desert here. I recommend preparing for the backcountry with your normal backcountry essentials. It can be deadly hot here. It can be below freezing here. Bring at least 2 liters of water, even if it's cool out. It's dry, you're probably going to go through it. And obviously bring some sun protection. And I use trail runners here. They work really well on all the different surfaces. And if you want to know what gear I personally use and recommend, just search for Hiking Guy, best hiking gear, and there's a whole list of it there. The views hiking back are pretty incredible. And as we go down back to the start, I just want to mention, when you're done the hike, if you drive about 5 minutes up the road through a pretty interesting area, you'll get to the Desert View Tower, worth just going and seeing, built in 1922 as a roadside attraction. It's also on the National Register of Historic Places.
So I tried to fly the drone to where I wanted to go. I wanted to show you Blue Angels Peak, named after the Blue Angels, which have their winter training facility not far from here in El Centro. And that peak is named after them, but I couldn't get the drone around there. It was just too windy, and it was like flipping out and coming back. I almost lost it a couple times, but I wanted to show you that. And then right past that is a border marker that dates back to the 1800s, I believe, between Mexico and the US. It's really, really cool. But that area was where a hiker was shot in January, and I don't know, somebody was robbed too. I don't know if that was a separate incident or that was the same one. But the Border Patrol, like I mentioned earlier, said not to go there. So tried to fly the drone there. But those border markers are really cool because they go all the way from the Pacific Ocean, San Diego, all the way to Texas. They mark the border. And I'm not sure what's going to happen when they eventually put the border wall up, if it's going to be there. It's a pretty rugged area. I'm not sure if they could build the wall up there. But what happens is, why that's dangerous and why people are there and not where we were, is because Blue Angels Peak is the highest point between the border and Interstate 8. So what I was told is that's where the lookouts go. So if somebody's sneaking across, they're sneaking people across, there will be lookouts up there. And why there and why not down like where we were before, where it was like so easy to get in? Well, the wind farm that's on the other side, it's paved up into the towers, to those wind towers there. It's all pavement, so I'm guessing it's probably easy to move people up to the border on the pavement and then just get them across here and then dump them out onto these roads that I've been showing you today. So we'll have to do that. Maybe when it gets cool again in next winter, I'll come back. Maybe it'll be a different situation, then I can show it to you, because it's pretty cool. But anyway, guys, that's the hike. Thanks for watching. And if you want to do it, just search for Hiking Guy, Valley of the Moon. I have this guide on my website where you can save it to your phone, print it out, download the GPX file to put on your phone and your app so you know where you're going. That's pretty vital here. I just want to reiterate that if you're coming here for the first time, definitely do that. It's definitely easy to get lost, turn around, loop around. So have some electronic navigation with you. All right, guys, stay safe, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the trail.